So, a really interesting high-level meeting just happened between Chinese and Cambodian officials, and it's kind of pulled back the curtain on one of the most significant partnerships in Asia. We're talking about a relationship built on history, on mutual support, and now a very specific strategic request. So yeah, let's dive into what makes this alliance so, quote, ironclad. And really, it all boils down to statements just like this one. During a recent summit, China's President Xi Jinping didn't just offer support, he offered unwavering support. I mean, that single word, unwavering, it just sets the tone for everything that follows. It's a huge promise, and it signals a really deep and unconditional commitment. So to really get why that word is such a big deal, we've got to look at the foundation of this whole partnership. Because, this isn't something that just popped up overnight. It's actually the result of a very, very long story. And look, these aren't my words. This is the official language they use to describe the relationship. You hear strong and stable all the time in diplomacy, right? That's pretty standard. But unbreakable, ironclad friendship? Whoa, that is a whole other level. It suggests a bond that's meant to withstand pretty much any pressure you could throw at it. And this bond, it has incredibly deep roots. I mean, we're talking about historical connections that go back more than 2,000 years. So yeah, the formal diplomatic stuff started in the mid-20th century, but today's partnership is built on this ancient foundation. That gives this whole ironclad friendship thing a real sense of weight and history, Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. From that huge historical backdrop, let's zoom in on this specific event that's got everyone talking. A recent meeting in Tianjin, China, where all these big ideas, history, support, friendship, all came together in a really fascinating way. And, the setting for this meeting is actually super important. This wasn't just some one-on-one visit. It all went down on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, which is a huge deal, a major political and security alliance in Eurasia. So having this conversation there, it really elevates it. It signals to the world that this relationship matters on a much, much bigger stage. All right, so who was actually in the room? Here are the key players. You've got Cambodia's Prime Minister, Hun Manet. And from China, you have Wang Huning, who's the chairman of the CPCC. That's a top political advisory group. And their conversation? Well, that's what really shows us how this ironclad friendship works in the real world. So, what did they actually talk about? Well, the meeting was basically a perfect example of diplomatic give and take, with both sides making these really powerful statements of support for each other. First up, China's pledge. Wang Hunin passed on President Xi Jinping's message directly. And there's that word again, unwavering support. This is China, on the record, formally committing its full backing to Cambodia. It's a crystal clear signal to the rest of the world about where they stand. And then you have Cambodia's response. Prime Minister Hun Manet thanked China, but he was really specific. He thanked them for helping protect Cambodia's national sovereignty. Now that phrase is super interesting, right? Because it tells us that Cambodia sees this partnership as absolutely essential for its own independence and ability to stand on its own feet. But here's where it gets really good. This meeting wasn't just about kind words and patting each other on the back. Nope. Cambodia came with a very specific, very strategic request. They wanted to turn all that talk about friendship into actual, tangible action. And this is the core of it all. Prime Minister Hun Manet straight up asked China to use its influence to help find a peaceful solution to their ongoing border disputes with Thailand. This is where the rubber meets the road, isn't it? This is them leveraging that unbreakable friendship to deal with a really sensitive and long-running problem in the region. And Cambodia didn't just show up and say, help us. They came with a clear plan, a 3-step path forward that really lays out their strategy. First, avoid military force. Second, stick to the border agreements that are already in place. And third, make sure everything is based on international law. It's so clear. They're asking for a mediator, not for someone to come in and take over. Okay, so let's zoom back out one last time and connect all these dots. What does all of this really mean? What's the big takeaway here? Well, the biggest takeaway is this, that ironclad friendship phrase, it's not just talk. This meeting shows us exactly how that deep trust gets turned into real-world diplomatic power. Cambodia is taking its powerful alliance with China and using it as leverage to seek a peaceful outcome in a long-standing regional dispute. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. What we're seeing here is a powerful country being asked by a close friend to step in and be a peacemaker. It really makes you wonder, right? In the world we live in today, which is getting more and more complicated, how can a super strong friendship between just two nations actually start to reshape and maybe even solve conflicts across an entire region?